Well, this place looks familiar. We are back at Tempoross once again. This time we have a different goal because this boss has so many ways to kill it, and I wanted to take a look at them. Not only are we going to take the time to learn these strategies, I also want to do them for about 30 minutes. The end goal, I think, is we're going to rank them against each other. We want to compare them to each other to see how much bang for your buck we can get out of these different strategies for how much effort you put into them. We're going to start off with the Mass World Tempoross. We are not going to be cooking purely for the fishing XP, bringing in completely minor gear, everything available from the minigame. I've just cleared my reward pool, so let's hop over to the Mass World, get started, see where we are in 30 minutes, and double it for the hour rate. The 30 minutes has begun. These games are pretty self-explanatory. However, if you've never faced Tempoross before, the only things to worry about in here are his attacks. We'll go over those once. Whenever you see the jumping fish, go ahead and fish at the double spots. That goes for any strategy. When you see a colossal wave, you just gotta tether to the totem pole or the mast of the ship up there. Whenever the strong wind brings in the clouds, that'll start the fires. I think I'm the only one up on the ship right now, so I'll put out this one. And his last attack is that torrent of water. Just step away from the cannons whenever it comes out, because it'll shock and pause ya. Alright, I think I'm gonna call that one the half an hour mark. We're at 29 minutes. So it looks like Mass Worlds without cooking gives 67,000 experience an hour. Each of the games was roughly 6 minutes long. We got roughly 2,600 points on average between the games. So 2,600 points lets us continuously be getting either 1 or 2 points. So in half an hour we could have gotten 4 to 8. So in an hour we have 8 to 16 points. Let's go ahead and get rid of the rewards and start on Mass Worlds with cooking. And I am also tracking the loot. That officially starts our 30 minutes. Let's see what cooking can get us. Since it's the same mass strategy, we'll just see you for the analysis after half an hour. I think we're gonna call the half an hour for the cooking version done now. So we had about 48,000 fishing experience an hour, averaging about 4,500 points per game. Each game was about 6 minutes long. So we could have gotten 16 to 20 points in the 30 minutes. So if we double that, that gives us 32 to 40 points an hour. We're trading about 20,000 fishing experience an hour to roughly double our points per hour. So far, I would say that Mass with cooking is worth it unless you're purely rushing fishing experience. And looking at our ranking list again, we have Mass World without cooking in the lead for experience, and Mass World with cooking in the lead for points. Now on to the solo methods. Cleared out the reward pool again, let's hop worlds. We're going to be doing the 10% strategy. The link in the description has a guide to a perfect run of this, but if you're a lower fishing level or on a laggy world, you still want to load the cannon at 16 cooked fish, but you might not be done cooking this many until after the storm clouds come in. So when you do make it to 16 fish, clear the fires on the way, start loading the cannon, and then we'll use his 50% colossal wave to clear all of the rest of the fires on our island, as well as the other island. Once the wave is down, finish unloading all of your cooked fish, and just head back down to fishing. It'll bring him down to 10%. Make sure to at least have 3 more fish cooked, so that way when you load you can down him. And when your storm intensity reaches 90%, run on up to the ship. Load in only the cooked fish that you have. Head down once the last one is in to attack him. From here we'll attack him down to about 60% health. And with my inventory, I need to fish 1 more fish. To fill in that missing spot, go ahead and then cook the remaining fish that you have. Head on back up to the ship, that way you can finish off the technical round 1 inventory. Just deposit them into the cannon, and you may have to deal with one colossal wave. From here, he'll no longer be attacking you since he's at 10% health, and you're free to just fish, cook, and load the cannon. The first inventory is 16 fish, second inventory is 19, third inventory is 19, and then we will drop all of our buckets and fill up the final inventory, come down and end the game. On your last trip to the ship, if Tempoross looks like he has a little bit extra health, just divvy up your final inventory in between the two cannons. 12 in one, 13 in the other. Same thing, head down when the inventory is empty, and you guarantee victory because even if you don't finish him off on here, once he resurfaces, both of the cannons will fire, and even though his intensity grows quickly, you've just turned it from a 3-down game into a 4-down game. So just split the last inventory. We'll see you in about half an hour for the analysis. Alright, so after 2 runs of this strategy, we are at 25 minutes. Looking at both of the runs, they were both equally at 7,885 points. We hit both thresholds, getting 9 points on the first game and 10 points on the second game, and took just over 11 minutes. So if we add in a 30-second timer, let's say they're 12 minutes a game, we can do 2 of them in 24 minutes, so we can do 4 of them in 48, and that lets us squeeze in the 5th. So that means on the lower threshold, this can give 9 points. If we multiply that by 5, we have 45. To the higher threshold at 10 points, bringing us to 50. The XP has fallen a bit, so we're looking at about still 48,000 XP an hour. That brings it equally in line with experience for the mass cooking, but it has skyrocketed to the top of points per hour at 45 to 50. So far we are in the lead of experience with the mass worlds not cooking, and we are in the lead with points of doing the solo 10% strategy. Clean out the rewards pool one more time, and now we take a look at the Firefighter strategy. Slight change in the inventory and we are ready to try the Firefighter mode. This would be much better with Humidify and the Lunar Spellbook, but as I said at the beginning, we're going in with everything being as basic as we can just to keep it fair. So we're getting base rate information instead of max optimization, so that means the numbers can only go up. And so we begin our firefighting. This is pretty much the same for the beginning, catch and cook 8 fish to set up for the double spawn. From here, we're aiming for 9 more fish for a total of 17 at the moment. If you have an inventory looking like mine, it'll be right before the first bucket, so this space. Finish out the inventory, head to the cooking shrine. Once the 17th is cooked, click to the ship. If you're a little behind me, just put out 1 or 2 fires on the way. Once the 17th cooked fish is in, go ahead and put out a few of the fires around the area to keep it under control. I have 2 more flames and 1 more bucket, so I'll refill some of them here. And jump on and finish off 1 more fire, and go back to the double fish spot. And in between waiting for it, cook the fish I have available, clear the way over to the double spot again, douse the flame close to me so that way it can't spread to my square, put out 1 more flame, and this way I still have 2 more buckets of water for when the fire spreads again. But we need to make our way to the ship to deposit our fish, so we'll clear it there, dump in all of our currently cooked fish, head on down to Tempoross, and we'll repeat the 10% strategy. We'll damage him down to around 70% health, and then if you need to continue fishing or cooking, move to that before you finish depositing. Main goal here is trying to beat the other colossal wave before it shows up at 15% storm intensity. That way we don't put out the other side of the island. Catch another 19 fish, cook all of them and deposit them. If you happen to be behind and the secondary colossal wave comes, just again save your 17th cooked fish until the fires appear, and then go ahead and set him back to the 10%, 4% range. The end of round 2, he will no longer be throwing attacks, so drop the hammer and the rope, deposit our other 19 fish, and now we attack him down another 30% to about 40% essence. We moved him down to 37. We're just going to fill the inventory of buckets, fill all of them up here at the water pump, and then we begin fighting the fires. We only need 2 more uncooked fish to be able to down Tempoross again, so at some point drop 2 buckets. Since I'm not using lunars and humidify, I'm going to go ahead and make my way to the dock first. You have plenty of buckets to be able to put out all of the fires, refill everything that I need, and we'll keep fighting the fires. Making my way over to a fishing place, so I can guarantee my Tempoross down with 2 more fish, and then I will backtrack my way on the island a bit. On the last 2 rows, I'll make my way back to the ship, clear the way to the water pump, put out the last few that are on the ship, and from here, we'll go ahead, drop 2 buckets, re-grab the hammer and the rope, drop off the last 2 fish, and head on down to finish off Tempoross. definitely with lunars this will be better. It gives less fishing experience an hour because you're not fishing in the third round, only around about 39,000 an hour. As it is with the minimal method, it pretty much is in line with the solo cooking, so with an average game of around about 11 minutes, you can do a little over 5 games in an hour. So with minimal, this puts you back at the 45 to 50 points an hour, which is in line with the basic solo method. However, with Humidify on the Lunar Spellbook, you cut down on fill time of the buckets, meaning not only can you put out more fires in an average game, but you can also let them spread on the northern side as well, getting more points throughout the game. If you have Humidify and you want points at a Tempoross, use the Firefighter method, and if you're looking for fishing experience, don't even bother with it. And another inventory change must mean now we begin solo no cooking. So this one begins the same as the others. Head on down and start fishing, grab about 8 of them, although instead of cooking them, we're going to load them into the cannon. When they're deposited, we'll head down to the doubled fish fishing spot and fish normally whenever it's not here. With the full inventory, we'll head to the ship, putting out the fires that we need. At some point during this unloading phase, he will launch another colossal wave. We will use this to put out the fires, make our way back down, dropping everything other than the harpoon, and then we will fill our entire inventory with 27 fish, running up to the ship to deposit around 90% storm intensity when we need. When we come to load, deposit 2 fish, run on down to attack Tempoross. On this first attack, I'll bring him down to about 55 health, and then continue finishing my inventory minus the 2 spots we've already deposited. On the way to load this cannon, we'll grab a rope just in case he launches a wave, and start depositing everything we have to finish out the rest of the round 1 inventory. Sneak a hammer and a few buckets real fast, that way we can put out the fires that spawn, and continue to fill this entire inventory as well. And since we finished off the round 1 inventory, Tempoross is under 10% energy, so we don't have to worry about any more special attacks, it's just purely filling up this one. Same rule applies, 90% intensity, run back to the ship, deposit 2 fish, make your way down to Tempoross. This time we'll fish him down to about 10% essence, make our way to grab our last 4 fish we need for the round 2 inventory. Once again, take a rope just in case he launches his wave, and begin to fill the rest of what we have. On the last swordfish, run back down, and just repeat again. Fill up the entire inventory. Around that 10% essence mark should be enough health to where you can unload all 27, run down the ship, and make it to the pool to finish off his health. Finish filling the inventory, load the cannon, and this time since we're going to kill Tempoross, we do not do deposit 2 and go attack. We unload everything we have for most experience we can get. I believe as long as we're coming down before 50% energy, we have enough time to run to the whirlpool and kill him off. Looks like it's even possible if he has about 20 health remaining. As we were heading out of there, we were getting about 68,000 experience an hour. And with the point threshold we reached, we can either get 4 to 5 points with that. At 11 minutes, 15 seconds for the run. Add in the lobby time as well. So we'll make it about 12 minutes. We can do 5 runs an hour. That means that gives us a score of 20 to 25 points per hour, along with the 68,000 XP an hour. So that barely edges out Mass No Cooking as our top contender for experience per hour, and almost falls into last place for points per hour, but is still more points than doing it on the Mass World. So all things considered, looking at our chart, if you want a more relaxed time for capping out toward the most experience an hour, go ahead and just do Mass Worlds without cooking your fish. Or if you want to run solo, it is possible as well for about the same amount of experience. And if you're looking for points, normal soloing with cooking is about on par with running Firefighter without Humidify, but Firefighter with Humidify ends up taking the lead for the points per hour as well. So no cooking for experience, Firefighter for points, and we do cooking either in mass or as solo for a decent mix of the two. Again, these are minimal gear runs just to get the baseline for the info. If you have better gear, more experience, or if you take the time to find better routes, that can only improve upon them further. In the process of making this, I found 3 other methods of fighting Tempoross, but I didn't mention them because they were not at all competitive for these other methods. And here's our loot from all of the points that we accrued in the making of this video. The only unique, a second big harpoon fish. All in all, do with this information what you will.